Hey, so you're thinking about moving to Las Vegas or Henderson here in Nevada, and maybe you're looking for a place to call home that is still easily accessible to everything that Vegas has to offer, but also relatively quiet and peaceful as well. Check out this video because in this video I'm going to give you some of the reasons why you should consider moving to Boulder City in Nevada, and we're going to start right now. So today we're talking about Boulder City in Nevada, and it's another city in the Clark County area, and obviously, as I said, it's still very accessible to Vegas. It's sort of located to the southeast of Henderson, sort of you'd go past it maybe on the way to the Hoover Dam and places like that. So I'm going to give you some of the reasons today why I think it should be on your list and you should definitely consider moving there. But less of me talking, let's get on to the reasons now. So the first reason is going to be the historic charm. I mean, who doesn't like a bit of historic charm? I believe it was established, Boulder City, around the 1930s when the Hoover Dam was being built. And since then, obviously, it's grown and the whole Vegas area has grown as well. But there's still a lot of those old preserved buildings. There's lots of beautiful landmarks. There's a lot of some of the different tours you can go on as well, and different museums that have a lot of the historical artifacts there as well, which is really interesting. And it still holds this sort of vintage era when you're, obviously we live in Henderson, so it's not too far for us to go. And when we go to Boulder City, say for sometimes we go on a Sunday, say for like a lunch or something, and when you're going through it, it just has this feeling, this vibe, and it's so relaxed, so old town sort of style, and it feels really nice, I have to say. I mean, even if you don't move to Boulder City, I think you should definitely, when you move to the Vegas or Henderson area, you should just definitely go and check it out. I've had a few clients that have gone down and had a picnic there as well, and had all the mountain sheep coming out, and it's gorgeous. I mean, to think it's not so far away from Vegas and it has all of this historical charm is amazing, and obviously played a big part in history as well as the construction of the Hoover Dam, and that being one of the main access ways onto it. So definitely, I think if you like that sort of thing, if you like historical charm, if you like a bit of history and culture, then it's going to be a little bit of that in Boulder City. I'm not saying it's going to be a huge amount, but it definitely does have that old school sort of old town vibe to it. So for me, I think that's definitely one of the first reasons. And when I talk to people who live in Boulder City, that's one of the first things they mention is that historical charm as well. The next reason I think you want to consider Boulder City is the amount of outdoor recreational activities. I mean, obviously there's the Hoover Dam, Lake Mead isn't far, you got Bootleg Canyon, there's so many different walking trails and biking trails that you can go on. If you like extreme sports, there's zip lining as well, all sorts of different things that you can do in Boulder City, and it brings so many people from other parts of the Clark County area as well to come and do those things as well. But if that's on your doorstep and you really love the outdoor recreational theme, then I think you're going to enjoy living in Boulder City because it's going to be so easy. There's an array of different things that you can do, and it's fun. I mean, I've always wanted to do extreme zip lining. I haven't been brave enough to try it yet in Boulder City, as some of them look quite scary. And also paragliding as well is another thing I'd love to try, but just getting the Dutch courage is so far evading me, but I definitely want to try it. And I live in Henderson, as I said, so to get back to Boulder City isn't going to be too far to do those sort of things. But I'd imagine living in Boulder City, it'll be even harder to ignore. And as I said, if you love walking and hiking and trails, loads of those as well, and cycling in Boulder City as well. And obviously when you're surrounded by all of that natural beauty, some great water there as well in terms of the lakes, it's gorgeous. So I think if you're going to enjoy outdoor recreation, you're going to enjoy Boulder City. The next reason, and I sort of touched on it there in the introduction, is the proximity to Las Vegas. I mean, it's only roughly around about a 30 or so minute drive to get into Las Vegas and to the heart of the entertainment capital of the world. But then it's like you're living in a different world when you're living in Boulder City because it is so peaceful, it is so quiet, it's got that old town sort of vibe to it, it's really got a nice historical culture feel to it. So when you're looking at the parallels, it's completely different, but to be able to live in an area like Boulder City and then be able to easily commute to Las Vegas within 30 minutes and go and enjoy a show on the strip or whatever it is that you want to do, I think that's a great way to do it. And that's what brings a lot of people to Boulder City, is they want that sort of vibe in the town that they're living in, but they still want to not be bored and stranded and be able to do all the things that Las Vegas has to offer. And it's a good way to balance it, really. So I think if that's something that you're looking for, you should definitely consider Boulder City. If so far the sound of Boulder City is not sounding like what you want, or if it is sounding like you might want in a community, I'd say definitely reach out. I'll put my details there on the screen. You can give me a call, you can send me an email, send me a text, and we can have a conversation and we can talk about the things that are important to you, not just in a home, because the area I think is more important than the home, especially at the start. And also I can get to know you on a personal level, and then I can sort of give you some recommendations on areas that might work for you, and we can go and check those out in more detail, or we can have a conversation in more detail. So definitely when the time is right and by whatever means possible is easier for you, then definitely do reach out, because I'd love to help you on your journey with moving here and hopefully helping you settle here as well. Another reason I think you should consider moving to Boulder City in Nevada is the lower cost of living. Cost of living in Boulder City as a whole is roughly around about 2% above the national average. Compare that to Vegas, which is around about 4% above the national average, and then Henderson is slightly above Vegas as well. So when you're looking at Vegas and Henderson as options to move to, and you're thinking, oh, maybe still the cost of living is a little bit high, the prices of homes are a little bit high, I think again, if you look at Boulder City, then maybe that could work for you as well. Cost of living is going to be better for you or worse for you depending on where you're moving from. If you're moving from some of the states where it already has a high cost of living, like so California, then the difference in cost of living in even Vegas or Henderson, which is higher than the national average still, is going to be a lot less than what you're used to. Obviously, there's lots of tax breaks living in Nevada as well. There's no state income tax. The property taxes are really low. There's no inheritance tax, and there's other tax breaks for businesses as well. So overall, I think the cost of living in general in Nevada is going to be really healthy for you. But Boulder City is even then a little bit lower than some of the other bigger cities in Nevada as well. So if that's going to be something that is going to be working for you and you're going to be thinking about, I'd say, if you're looking at cost of living, then have a look at Boulder City as well. The next reason I think you should consider Boulder City in Nevada is going to be the sense of community. I always talk about it, and one of the things I think is missing a lot in Las Vegas is communities that have that sense of community. I think Inspirada in Henderson really nails it, and there's a few other ones. Sky Canyon up in Northwest Las Vegas does as well, but in general I think it misses a lot in Vegas. Boulder City, on the other hand, has a really strong sense of community. There's so many different community events that go on in the city. It's a real supportive city as well. It's a city that has a lot of small businesses, and everyone wants to support those small businesses. So, if you're thinking of opening up a small business, maybe you should have a look at Boulder City as well, because they very much like to support the local businesses in Boulder City as well. And there's so many little mom and pop shops and cafes there as well. I love it. I think it's great to be in a place where, yes, there are some of the bigger brands as well, but where they're not surrounded by big brands like you are here as well. So I think if you're looking for a sense of community where you can, move to an area, get to know people and develop your own community then as well, I think Boulder City is definitely going to work for you. If, again, those sort of things are important, I would say definitely reach out to me. You wouldn't want to be doing this on your own, or I definitely wouldn't want you to be doing this sort of thing on your own. It takes a lot of research when you are moving across state. Obviously, I've relocated myself. I know exactly how it is. So again, just pop my details there on the screen. You can pause it, take a screenshot, keep those details for when you need, and when, as I said, the time is right, and by whatever means works for you, then definitely reach out to me, and I'd love to help you on your move here. The next reason to consider Boulder City, and if you've seen some of my other videos about education, you'll know Clark County School District, which also includes Boulder City. The CCSD is constantly rated as one of the worst in the country, and the schools in Boulder City do fall into that category under the same school district. But I also always give the caveat that if you look at it, it's rated as the worst or one of the worst, but it's also the 5th largest and covers a really big geography area as well, the Clark County School District. So if you put that into comparison, if there was different school districts for Boulder City, Henderson, and even maybe Summerlin, I think those would actually rank quite high on the national average. Boulder City, if you looked at that as a whole and not part of Clark County, the schools there are really good. The quality of education is really good. The student to teacher ratio is quite low compared to other parts, definitely low compared to other parts of Vegas. The graduation rates are quite high as well. The overall performance is quite high. When you look at it on niche.com and greatschools.org, the schools in Boulder City do really well. So if you're a family and you're thinking that education is going to be important to you, and I know it was definitely important to me, it was one of the things I was adamant about and took a lot of research. No YouTube videos at that time that were talking about it, and I had to do all the research on the websites I mentioned, so niche.com, greatschools.org, and then on the Clark County School District and putting in addresses to see where that would fall in the school zoning as well, making sure that we were going to be zoned for the right schools, not just for elementary where my kids are now, but also making sure we set it up for middle and high school as well. So I definitely know how that's important, and if it is important, I think have a look at Boulder City as well, and maybe that could give you a pleasant surprise, and it could be a great place to raise a family when you factor in some of the other reasons as well as the education. I think maybe that could also work for you. The next reason, and moving away technically from families to retirees, if you are at the 55 plus age, I think another reason that you should consider Boulder City is it has a really great active retirement community. It's one of the most popular, it's always amongst the top 20 popular places to retire in the whole country. Obviously, it doesn't get as much headlines as some of the other bigger cities because it is a smaller city. But because of the close-knit community, because of the peacefulness and the quietness, but also the access to Las Vegas, there's some really great retirement communities within Boulder City as well. So if you're at that age where you're thinking about retiring in the next year, next 2 years, next 5 years, I'd say again, check out Boulder City, do a little bit of research. If you want some help, again, you can reach out to me. Or if not, if you want to do it on your own, that's also good. But I think you should definitely consider Boulder City if you are thinking about retiring to the Vegas area. Maybe you like the temperatures and the fact that it's not humid, there's no state income tax. Ticks a lot of boxes for you. Have a look at Boulder City and see if that can also work for you. Because I think, again, you'll be pleasantly surprised at some of the options there. And then the final reason is going to be there's less traffic, and even more importantly, actually no gambling. There's no casinos allowed. Gambling is not permitted in Boulder City. It's only one of the, I think there's only 2 cities in Nevada that has that. And actually alcohol was prohibited for a long time as well, but the rules have relaxed on alcohol, but there's still no gambling allowed in Boulder City. And because of that, obviously it doesn't bring the type of people that would be going to the casinos on the strip, say, and that helps it keep that real peaceful, quiet, relatively safe sort of feel, which again makes it a great option for families or retirees or just anybody who wants to have that peaceful sort of quiet lifestyle. You can still go and get your gambling fix if you want. You're not far from Vegas, you're not far from Henderson, where we have some casinos here in Henderson as well. So it's not like you're going to have no entertainment, but the fact that where you call home, which is very important, I think, the place you call home, the area, the city, the neighborhood, all of those things are super important. The fact that where you call home has none of that allowed, I think is going to be really beneficial in the long run if you're looking at putting down roots. I think, again, it plays into the fact that it's a real peaceful, close-knit community. And when you don't have those things going on, the gambling and, some of the people that would be brought into the area who gamble, not everybody who gambles is going to be loud and disruptive, but it does obviously attract some of those people as well. Unfortunately, there's always going to be a minority that ruin it for the majority. So without that going to be in your city, I think it's definitely going to be a great place for families. And again, if those sort of things are important to you, if you're looking at making the move to Vegas or Henderson and you're thinking, I need to be in a peaceful, quiet, safe area, but I don't want to be away from everything, I'd say, again, just reach out to me. I'll put my details there on the screen. Again, just pause it, take a screenshot. When you're ready, give me a call. And, I love having those conversations, those initial conversations where we're sort of getting to know each other and finding out what's important to you. I love it. I love meeting you guys then in person when you come to town. And ultimately, I want to give you the best, service and make the whole process as easy as I can for you. Having gone through relocation, I know how stressful it is. So if I can take that stress away, then I know I'm doing well. So definitely when the time is right, if it's not now, then, I'm still going to be here. Definitely reach out to me when you are ready. And that's it, guys. That's my reasons for considering moving to Boulder City in Nevada. Hopefully you found this useful. If you have found this helpful, then please go ahead and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe, but it definitely helps my channel grow and helps me get in front of even more people who are considering moving to Vegas or Henderson or even Boulder City. So definitely, please, if you can, go ahead and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. If you're in town and we get to meet up and you let me know you're subscribed, maybe I'll buy you a drink or a coffee. as a way of saying thank you, because I super appreciate it. Also, go ahead and like the video as well, please. Again, it's just going to help this video go in front of more people. So if you found it helpful, then maybe they're going to find it helpful as well. Just as a reminder, if you are thinking about moving to Las Vegas, Henderson, or Boulder City even, then please do get in touch. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email, even jump on a Zoom, and all those details are down on the link below. So please definitely do get in touch. I really do love being in the position that I am, where I get to be involved and helping so many people with moving and deciding if it's going to be right, and then helping with the process of finding and buying a home. It's a very stressful time, especially when you're moving across state lines. So I definitely, I take it all as a real blessing that I get to help so many people. I'm super thankful for the support that I've been given. The amount of people that reach out to me constantly, it blows my mind. And I always get goosebumps when I take the time to think about it. And I want to say thank you to everyone who has reached out, whether we've closed the home or we're in the process of finding, or if we're still a year or two out, but you've still reached out to me to start the process. I appreciate you all immensely. I can't say enough thank yous. I wouldn't be where I am without you guys now. So I do appreciate you all, and some of you become friends now as well, which is amazing. And then, again, if you are thinking about it, then definitely do reach out. If I seem like the type of realtor you'd want to work with, which I hope I am, but I know I'm not the person for everybody, and that's completely fine as well, then definitely when you're ready, please do reach out. But until the next time, guys, thank you for watching, and you take care.